The Aspendos Theater is one of the best preserved samples of the theaters of the Roman period in Turkey and in the world. It was built in 155 AD by a Greek architect during the reign of Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. The theater has the most advanced construction techniques of its time. To achieve great acoustics, the stage building and cavea have been combined in perfect harmony. A whisper on stage can be heard all around the theater, which held up to 8,000 people. The orchestra that has a horseshoe design in Greek theaters has been turned into a half circle by the Romans, ensuring that spectators could see the stage well from any place in the theater. The stone floor of the orchestra and the drainage channels protect the original formations. The orchestra is surrounded by a stone barrier for gladiators and wild animal shows that were popular in the 3rd century BC. There were 20 benches made from quality limestone blocks at the lower theater. The benches in the first row were reserved for senators, judges, and ambassadors, while the second row was reserved for other city notables and high-ranking military officials. The upper sections were for ordinary citizens. Special people had their names engraved on some of the benches. On the arch opening to the orchestra, private areas for the emperor and his family were built.
Divided into two with a corridor where you see the lights today. So this is to make it easier and faster the entrance and the exit.
This is probably one of the most well-preserved amphitheaters in the world. I think 90% is original. Alright, made it to the top. Look how beautiful these arches are. Some think the vaulted sections at the top were built to provide shelter during rainy days. This vaulted gallery was restored several hundred years ago by using brick and white limestone. And this is the view from the very top. Alright, I'm a little worried about getting down. Why? Because they're very steep, small steps. Tablets located at the entrances tell us that the theater was built by Curtius Crispinus and Curtius Auspicius, brothers who dedicated the structure to the emperor. Like most theaters in Asia Minor, the majority of the theater is dug out of the eastern slope of the Acropolis, whereas the rest is supported by a stone-built arch and vault system. I don't suppose there's an elevator here. This is the 2,000-year-old Roman aqueduct. The Aspendos waterline is one of the best preserved waterlines among the Roman pressured waterline systems. The first tower is 49 feet higher than the second one. The water flows over 3,000 feet from the first tower pool to the second tower pool and then transferred to the Acropolis. The water is carried in stone pipes because lead pipes did not achieve the desired water pressure that was required. Today, 29 arches between two towers can be seen. Here's the other side. You can see it better. Perge ranks among the top 40 most visited ancient ruins in the world, with over 400,000 visitors a year. It's located near the Kestras River and was originally a port city on a major trade route. It was founded 3,500 years ago by the Hittites. Perge was a wealthy Greek city during the Hellenistic period. Alexander the Great arrived here in 333 BC. However, when the whole Bay Area silted up, that ended Perge's port city status and sea trade, and it eventually became part of the Roman Empire in 133 BC. The Roman Gate dates from the 2nd or 3rd century AD. It's 11.5 feet wide and is located in the middle of the 79-foot by 33-foot high city walls located at the southern section of the Septimus Severus Square. The exterior part has been covered with marble, and there used to be a columned facade before it. The Hellenistic Tower is built out of limestone, and it's the oldest entrance to the city, dating from the 3rd century BC. It consisted of 2 oval towers which are part of the city's defense. The monumental entrance was built on a marble platform. The southern gate is entered from this area. The Propylaeum was built during the reign of Roman Emperor Septimus Severus between 197 and 211 AD. The Monumental fountain is located on the western side of the Septimus Severus Square and used to provide water to the city. The fountains and baths used water that was transferred from the northern part of the city to the southern part. Cream-colored limestone blocks were used for the construction of the fountains, and the entire facade had been covered by marble.
I don't know, maybe they rest in shadow, maybe they just lift up and down some marble blocks and they sweat. And sweating may stop the
The south bath was built in the 1st century AD and consists of a courtyard surrounded by porticos and covered by mosaics. Young people would do their exercises and then go to the pool after their workouts. There were hot and cold water baths. Hot air and water vapor from a furnace would heat up the floors.
And of course that thermal water in the pool is also helping that. And folks then after, they just simply wash their body, first cover with soap. Also, I'm going to read each and every word of it, guys. Don't do that. I may be an old dinosaur and straightforward person, but I mean, especially in my villa, they used to have those marble like sofa, on which those guys just lay down. It's just, they had created that way, the decoration. All the grounds were like the last one is like
There's a channel in the middle of the columned avenue built from 6.5-foot wide limestone blocks. Underneath the channel is a sewer system. Along the road there are posts with inscriptions between the columns. It's thought that statues of the people who have honored the city used to be on the posts. The porticos protected people from sun and rain. Stores were located on the sides of the avenue. The front sides were used for sales while the back sides were used for production. A church was once located in this area.
It was also showing the wealth because water meant it was having a capacity about 9,000 and the stadium is over 15,000. So these type of buildings built generally with the proportion of...
The Agora is the commercial, social, and cultural center of the city. It was built in the 2nd century AD and is surrounded by porticos and stores. The columns were made of granite. The circular structure was most likely a fountain or a place where foods like fish were sold.
Reasonably priced kitchen utensils from, let's say, Syrian or semi-precious stones from Babylon or Gabon. Or, for example, here is the best symbols to show a butcher, a hook and a knife. he cut the meat and hang on the hook. All right, that's the only one surviving in Asia Minor as a shop sign, the sign of the week.
All right, I'm by the remains of the amphitheater, still in Perge. I broke away from my tour group. I'm declaring my independence. And let's see if there's anyone inside here. And I actually don't know if this is the right way in. But I do see a way to get in there. Let's see. Anybody here? Oh, wow. Oh! Well, let's see if I can get in. Oh. The stadium, which held 12,000 people, dates from the 2nd century AD. The running track, which is made of soil, has been built in a north-south direction and measures 112 by 1,096 feet. Part of the stadium may have been used for wild animal shows and gladiator challenges. It's kind of cool to have an old, or I should say ancient, Roman ruin to myself. And we are in Turkey, let's not forget that. But obviously the Romans had a lot of influence here. So what took place here? I think they had sports events. Now, did they have slaves fighting to the death? That I don't know. What I'm amazed about with this entire complex is just how big it is. Well, that's the hole I came through. I hope it doesn't close up like in the movies. Then I'll be stranded here. By the way, it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. It is quite hot. And in fact, on my entire Turkey tour, which has now been, I think, a week and a half, it's just been oppressively hot and humid. But despite the heat, just to see something like this is pretty amazing. Or should I say pretty awesome?
Give a kiss.
Is that allowed? All right, good luck. Hello. Way up there is the Acropolis of a town called Bergama. You can see some of the ruins. The Asklepion is a famed ancient medical center and healing complex built in honor of Asklepios, the god of healing. It was also the world's first psychiatric hospital. The Asklepion gained in prominence under the Romans in the 2nd century AD, but a sacred site existed here as early as the 4th century BC, founded around a sacred spring that still flows today. The 3,500-seat theater at the Asklepion was built to entertain the patients, who would often stay for weeks. All this was done in the belief that healing was a sacred art and that people's souls needed to be mended as well as their bodies. The northern colonnade, with 17 columns still in place, leads from the library to the restored theater, set into the slope of the hill. The theater still hosts classical plays during the annual Bergamo festival. Many of the treatments employed here, in complement with a sacred source of water that was later discovered as having radioactive properties, have been used for centuries and are once again finding modern application as thousands of people still travel here. Treatments including psychotherapy, massage, herbal remedies, mud and bathing treatments, surgeries, and the drinking of water were prescribed according to what dreams the patient had experienced. It was believed that dreams recounted a visit by the god Asklepios, who held the key to curing all illness.
Yeah, there's some on the top, but...
Is it scary down here?
You just missed it. They had a snake and killed it.
Oh, I saw that one, yeah.
Oh, you saw it.
It was dead, right?
According to ancient myth, the god Asklepios had the power to raise people from the dead, and he himself was restored to life by Zeus. For this reason, he was thought to also have a snake form. Tame snakes were kept in his temples, as this reptile was regarded as a symbol of regeneration due to the shedding and regrowth of their skin. Reachable through an underground tunnel was the temple, which contained both the treatment rooms and the sleeping chambers, an indication that sleep was important in the actual healing process. The temple had a circular shape so that patients could walk in a never-ending procession.